Recovered transmission. The Ikea showroom serves as a highly specialized containment zone designed to facilitate the total suspension of terrestrial logic. Upon crossing the threshold, the participant enters a spatial anomaly where the concept of a quick exit is mathematically impossible. The architecture follows a rigid one-way system known as the long natural way. This psychological architecture ensures that departure is mathematically improbable for a significant duration. Shoppers are funneled through a series of simulated domestic environments, ranging from compact studio apartments to expansive kitchen displays. Displacement is a common side effect of the layout, particularly among male subjects who often exhibit signs of spatial exhaustion. These individuals are frequently observed trailing several meters behind more motivated participants, serving as porters for yellow polypropylene bags that increase in weight as the journey progresses. Time within this environment does not move linearly. While the external world may record the passage of 30 minutes, the internal experience for the average shopper, particularly the male subject, scales closer to several fiscal quarters. These men are often seen in a state of advanced atmospheric displacement, moving with the sluggish gait of those who have surrendered their free will to the relentless pull of a yellow plastic bag. Progress through the showroom is punctuated by a series of simulated domestic habitats. These vignettes offer a haunting glimpse into idealized lives that the subjects believe can be purchased in flat pack form. It is here that the psychological strain begins to manifest. Couples are observed engaging in low-intensity jurisdictional disputes over the aesthetic merits of a laminate coffee table, unaware that the showroom is designed to amplify minor personality flaws into major existential crises. The male subject typically reaches a state of total cognitive surrender by the third living room display. He becomes a nomadic ghost, drifting from one ergonomic swivel chair to the next, testing the lumbar support of furniture he has no intention of owning, simply to experience the sensation of sitting down one last time before his legs reach terminal fatigue. The journey is further complicated by the linguistic shift required for navigation. Every object is assigned a Swedish moniker. Subjects find themselves whispering names like Kallax and Hemnes as they wander deeper into the labyrinth, their grip on reality loosening with every modular shelving unit they pass. For those dragged along against their primary instincts, the showroom becomes a test of endurance. There is a documented phenomenon where subjects attempt to find a shortcut to the exit, only to realize that every door labeled as an escape merely leads to a more concentrated display of lighting fixtures or a vast sea of decorative mirrors. The sense of being trapped is not an accident. It is the fundamental core of the operational design. Survival is predicated on reaching the halfway point, the restaurant. This is the only neutral territory within the complex, a designated refueling station where the aroma of steamed vegetables and Swedish meatballs provides a temporary reprieve from the crushing weight of domestic consumerism. Here, subjects gather in a state of shared trauma, staring blankly at their trays as they prepare for the descent into the market hall. This lower level represents a significant escalation in the acquisition phase. It is a dense thicket of kitchenware, textiles, and organizational accessories, where the impulse to buy a 16-pack of tea lights becomes an uncontrollable biological urge. Even the most resistant subjects find themselves grabbing items they do not need, such as a miniature cactus or a specialized tool for slicing avocados, simply because the items are presented in such overwhelming volume. The self-service furniture warehouse marks the final trial of the human spirit, a vast industrial canyon where subjects must locate flat-packed components using coded coordinates. This stage requires significant physical exertion and serves as the ultimate test of domestic cooperation. Arguments regarding the necessity of a specific shelving unit or the physical dimensions of a car boot are standard behavioral markers at this juncture. Subjects emerge into the daylight blinking and disoriented, clutching receipts that represent a significant portion of their monthly earnings. The Ikea showroom remains a perpetual cycle of arrival and exhaustion, a place where the aisles are endless, the instructions are wordless, and the exit is always just one more kitchen display away. Once the threshold is crossed, the subject is no longer a person. They are a component of the system, destined to return whenever a new shelving solution is required. End of recovered transmission.